What's going on, everybody? Solo Games here, and I am blessed to be with Mr.
Nicholas Jadosing.
And congratulations, man. You were the last Tenpai player remaining before the utter execution of the deck. You placed what again at YCS Anaheim?
I play second.
Oh, congratulations. Definitely something hard fought, hard worked on, showing everybody that Razio don't mean nothing. You came in kicking and screaming and beating everybody there.
That was the intention. I was told by a lot of people not to play the deck. I was told it had an awful matchup into Ryzeal, and I looked to the OCG for a little inspiration, and this is what I came with.
All right, that hey, it worked out. You executed the plan. You almost completed the mission, but you still executed it. Uh, Before we get into it, any shout outs?
Well, I would love to shout out my wife. Uh, she was there for my first top, and it just so happens that my first top was second place. Would have loved to have taken it home, but we'll settle for second for now. I want to shout out Jib, Lucas Sacco, Clifton Land, Maurice Brantley, Mr. Promo, Mr. Solo Games for having me on his channel, which is awesome. I've wanted to get a top so I could do one for your channel for a long time, and I'm
Hey,
actually honored to actually be able to do this. Shout out to
first one is
Kamal.
perfect for it too.
Yeah, shout out to Kamal. Shout out to the Fort Lauderdale people. Shout out to the Tampa people, the people in the DMV area. Shout out to a lot of the players in Jamaica that got to have a little representation. So I think that's pretty awesome.
Respect, respect. All right, so got through all of that. Let's jump right. Well, before we get into the list, how was your personal experience of the YCS?
My personal experience of the YCS was actually fantastic. Um, I genuinely came into the event with just hoping to get a top because me and my wife are leaving the country soon. So I just wanted to get a top, right? Little did I know I was going to end up in the finals. Um, I played versus a lot of Ryzeal. Like I think I beat almost all of them. I think I lost to maybe Enzo. But yeah, every other Ryzeal deck I beat. I beat Ryzeal Fiendsmith. I beat normal Ryzeal. I beat Malice. Like my deck was built specifically with that deck in mind. Um, a lot of people told me that main decking certain cards was going to be bad because it was good against Ryzeal but wasn't good against everything. But I am quite sure I proved them wrong. Um, yeah, it was a lot of surprising people. I think my biggest shock was when I ended up on live stream, and I'd never been on live stream, so a lot of anxiety. So I was on the live stream on the bonus side, and then when I got to the main stage, ton of anxiety. People don't understand those pros make it look easy. That big stage is rough. Misplays like crazy. Hands was shaking, a lot of sweating, very nervous. Misplays in top eight, misplays in top four, misplays in the finals. But we got there. Choice for this deck was just overwhelming power because I had Malice and I did have Ryzeal as well
Okay,
prior to the event.
okay. Well, hey, you made the right choice sticking with Tenpai. All right, so let's see the sauce.
So first of all, beautiful prize card. Then my wife, and then my awesome token, and then just my plain nib token. Um, so last Senpai deck: 3 Pydro, 2 Genroku, 3 Chandro, 2 Fadra.
R.I.P. to the
So
goat.
yep. So a lot of people were flaming me for playing 2 Fadra. However, according to when I was looking at the OCG list, they didn't play Bestial Magnum, and they played 2 Fadra, and they've also played Heatwave. So the 2 Fadra helped when I needed to survive and to help facilitate a grind game if I was forced into one. And the Bestial Magnum was absolutely horrendous into the Ryzeal matchup because a lot of them were running talents, and by the time you were able to if you needed to activate the Bestial, you had to do it before they could activate Cross.
True.
If they activate Cross, that is stuck in your hand. So you basically were forced to have to use it early, and if they have talents, you're going to get punished. So that was a thought process behind it. I did not want to get talents. I didn't see the point in playing a card that would help Malice, a card that wasn't super effective against the Ryziel deck, and I genuinely wasn't afraid of the Snake Eye deck at all.
Yeah.
Um, so that was my thought process behind it. Fadra was also helpful for when I needed to survive. I would heat wave and then set it a lot of times. So even if they made a full board like a duo drive detonator board, uh, I could heat wave, set Fadra, and detonator duo drive cannot kill a Fadra.
Simple.
Just
Yeah.
as simple as that. Yeah, simple as that. You can't kill a Fadra. And then by then, I would try to draw into cards that could break the board. So that was my thought process behind it. I also got flamed because I was keeping Ultimate Slayer in the deck when I went first, and I heat waved. And the reason for that is I cannot depend on heat wave. And if I end up setting like a card, I need to be able to take care of, and I survive, I need to be able to take care of the threats that they did put out. The chances of opening the heat wave was not particularly high, so if I set Fadra and I don't have the heat wave, let's just say they try to push at my board, at least I survive the turn so I can ultimate slayer them after.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So the main thing with Tenpai is you just want to survive, and because one monster puts out so much damage, you just need one shot. One punch man.
Yeah. That's why Chandra got to go down to one. And I was definitely Chandra in the dream.
Yes, yes. So my hand traps, I didn't play too many. I just played the 3 Ash, the 3 Fuwalos, the 3 Perulia, the 3 Dominus Impulse. Oh, make sure I can show it. 3 Dominus Impulse, and the 3 Impermanence. So these were amazing. I just needed to keep them into C Engine. I just needed any way I could get to Engine. I needed them, so I had to keep them in. Impulse, everybody said was a terrible card to play in the deck, especially versus Ryziel. However, being able to hit Ice, Node, plug in the Plasma Thrust, especially at like really inopportune moments for them, was fantastic. So there were a lot of times that they would get greedy and go from Duo Drive into Dagaris and then try to plug in to get to Node to then try to get back to Detonator. I'm quite sure you're familiar with the play.
Yeah.
And when they do that, you drop an impulse on them, and it is a very painful experience for them after. Because all you're stuck with is a Duo Drive and a Dagaris. Or, depending, either a Duo Drive or Dagaris, because if I have a trap, I'm going to do it on the node's effect. And if I don't have a trap, I'll just do it on the plugin to prevent you from getting access to it. So it worked out great. Also, keeping this, Ryziel was not the only deck I was going to face, so I needed it for coverage. So it was great against Malice. I hit them when they try to bring back their links. So a lot of the Malice player ended up having his links banished, and I wasn't letting him get back access to them. So that was actually great. When they went to Splash Mage and they were trying to get back into the package, I just Dominus Impulse that. It was actually a great call. I do not regret it. I think it was fantastic. Imperm was great. It just answered detonators. If they did not have targeting protection, answered detonator very easily. So, I mean, these hand traps were perfect. Ash, I was not actually ashing unless I was in a very simplified game state or I was sure that, or I was positive that they actually needed a card to resolve. That's the only time I was ashing. But in an open game state, most times I was not ashing because the talents hitting me was extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
So I really didn't want to get talents. The only hand traps I was really throwing in the main phase was Fuwalos in response to an effect. But I was Peruling in draw phase and then Fuwalos to at least get at least one card because I need Engine. Alright, spell cards. RIP.
Yep. Rip to the second grade.
Hmm?
It's rip to the second grade card.
Yep. Uh, Engine, awesome. You will be missed. Terraforming, prosperity. Uh, this is a you know honorary Tenpai. This was great to get engine or to get one of my breakers. And this is the tech that everybody told me not to play in the main deck. Ultimate Slayer. I broke so many boards with this. I'm not sure if you watched a few of my features, but I've ultimate slayered Ubel, I've ultimate slayered Caesar, I have ultimate slayered Ryziel monsters. Yeah, this answered so many boards. It was amazing. I used it against Lynx. I used it against Malice when they put up the terahertz. You send the link and you get rid of it and you turn off their negate. So it was actually a fantastic card. Everybody that told me not to play this, well, I guess I proved you guys wrong. It was a fantastic card. It caught everybody off guard.
I think that might
Uh,
be the spell card of the best spell card of like 2024 going into 2025 because of the format. Like,
Absolutely, absolutely. As I said, it answered every board. The Ryziel board, unless they had targeting protection, it literally cracked the entire board by itself, like single-handedly. It not being once per turn is also crazy, so that was actually insane. Um, Triple droplets, it's droplets. I mean, negate detonator, prevent them from breaking stuff. Uh, that was actually fantastic. With the Starliege board, it's kind of hard to break it. So like, if you have a Duster or a Lightning Storm to pair with the droplets, you can clear the back row, negate, and then start breaking the board. And then the back row hate, Lightning Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster. For me, my thought process was the problematic card was Cross. So if you get rid of Cross and then you Slayer their monster, they die that turn. There's nothing you can do to prevent that.
true.
You're dying that turn. So get rid of the back row because they draw between Dagaris, Desires, Cross. They're drawing approximately 5 cards. They have to set them because you don't want to keep a dead imperm after you've just drawn it. So they're going to set them. So landing one of these, hitting all the imperms, all the cards that they drew, and also hitting the cross, and then, for instance, chaining a droplet, or after it resolves, you start activating Ultimate Slayer, literally cripple the board really quickly. So that was the deck, 40 cards flat. Let's go on to the extra deck. Spicy stuff for Ultimate Slayer. Garura, Aggregator, Typhon, Tri-Brigade. These were my Slayer targets. All of them got tons of mileage this weekend. Sending the Tri-Brigade versus when I Ultimate Slayer the terahertz and getting a draw off the Garura actually helped me get into Engine. You can send Typhon or Aggravator. Typhon if you don't need to negate anything, Aggregator if you need to negate something. Typhon also served a multiple purpose of when we got to a simplified game state, you go into Typhon and then bounce. So it actually did quite a lot for me. That was actually pretty good. I think I even had a play where I made a Seals, and then I think I made a Typhon shortly after. Yeah, I think I made a Typhon after. So that was pretty cool. Doolittle Chimera for my OTK line. Doolittle Chimera plus a Chandra equals lethal on a clear board. So that was actually pretty awesome. Doolittle Chimera also served a secondary purpose to get back into Engine or to get Ash. So I would sometimes, like, depending on if my cards got negated, I would make. So I had one of my cards get negated, and I made a Doolittle Chimera. Went to battle phase, ran the Doolittle Chimera into their monster, added back Genroku to hand. Genroku effect special summoned itself, declare another attack, then activate the Genroku effect, special summon Chandra, and then just started ripping apart the board. So that was kind of cool. Seals, SP, Striker. We all make mistakes. I made a mistake in the finals. SP was supposed to banish the face down, but we live and we learn.
It is what it is.
Yeah. Honorary Tenpai, Trident Dragon, Transcendent, the two Bidents, Meteor Burst, Black Rose, and Kui Belt. Meteor Burst was phenomenal. Mo told me of a play that he did early in the tournament, and immediately after he told me that, I ended up doing the exact same play, which I thought was pretty cool. So I was facing a board of duo drive detonator with like back row and cross. So what happened was you activate lightning storm to clear the back row. You normal summon Genroku, and even though you haven't even though you haven't negated the board, you just summon Genroku. You special summon the declare effect of Chandra to special. If they attempt to pop, you just tribute the Genroku. So most times they won't, because if they tribute, the monster is going to dodge, and then you just don't activate the monster that comes out.
Mm-hmm.
You make Meteor Burst, and then you enter battle phase. They cannot activate anything. So then you activate Kaiman. Goodbye. You lose.
Yeah, that Meteor Burst, Transcendent, the like, perfect cards for like just threatening game right there. Like you better have some kind of non-engine monster, oh yeah, spell and trap for Meteor Burst, or have a hope and a dream for
Yeah,
Transcendent.
that's why I said you clear that back row first. Because as I said, the deck is powerful. All it needs is one shot, and then you're dead. Heat Wave. This is my side. Heat Wave. Fantastic card. A lot of times when I did go first, I would Heat Wave and set a monster. When I end up on feature, I end up misplaying. I had a monster to set. I Heat Wave, and anxiety got me, and I just forgot to set. But Heat Wave was fantastic. You could Heat Wave, and then immediately on the following turn, just far away, and they lost. So that was actually fantastic. Sometimes, as I said, if they set up a board and you need to find a breaker, you can Heat Wave, set Fadra, and then they can't play. And if they do have a board, you just Heat Wave, set Fadra. They try to kill Fadra, they can't, and then you just break their board anyway. So regardless, you were trying to all you needed to do was survive.
That's true.
Yeah, that's all you needed, just to survive. And then, so again, as I said, you set the Fadra, they punch, they can't kill you, you Heat Wave, Slayer, all sorts of stuff. It just depends what you needed. You just need time. Dimensional Barrier, it was alright. It was kind of mid, to be honest. I didn't really use it that much. Lancia, I played only one Malice deck, and it put in work. I activated Lancia, and I had a second one, so when you tried to call by, that's all she wrote.
Sadly, we have to casually hate on that deck with Lancey's in the sideboard because the deck is just so good.
D-Shifter and Nibiru. The worst cards of my entire deck.
Oh, that's saying a lot.
These were absolutely terrible, because if I'm playing these, that means I'm not playing these, and that sucks.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so that was the issue. Like, if I sat in Nib, I would have to take out, like, let's just say an Impulse. But, like, a lot of times I would do that, and I would Nib, and then I would have, like, a way to clear the back row, but, haha, joke's on me, I can't clear it because I have Nib on the board. So Lightning Storm can't be used. And then when I sat in Shifter, it was also horrible because I couldn't use my Droplets or Slayer. So these cards sucked. They were pretty horrible. But yeah, as I said, the inspiration of this deck, if you look into the OCG, there is a tournament that took place, and I think it had approximately 4,000 players. And my deck is almost identical to that list, minus the fact that they only have one Chandra.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's where I got my inspiration from. And more inspiration was from people telling me that I can't top with Tenpai. So that was a lot of inspiration too.
Oh,
so
fuel. You know, it was just fuel for you, and you showed out. Congratulations, man! Thank you very much for this profile, but there's still a lot more for you. So I expect another top and a possible win in the future for you, man.
We're going for Orlando. We're
Yes,
going for
sir.
Orlando.
Orlando's coming up. And once again, you
Yes,
guys,
sir.
yo, definitely like, comment, subscribe, and hopefully I can see you guys at the next event at YCS Orlando. You could take down Nicholas right here, second place of YCS Anaheim. All right, well, thank you again, man. Take care, everybody, and hope to see you soon.
One love.